nothing else going on. Guys, the Thursday thing off is more like when I'm like having to like be at work and like, you know, trying to have a day off to hang out with Ari and all I've been is home for the last week. I have nothing else going on. I started watching baseball. How boring that is. I started watching baseball. I haven't watched baseballs in forever. What happened yesterday? Oh, the MAGA just whine and do their thing. Standard MAGA. I get banned about once a month because they get all upsetty spaghetti. They get all you know, upsetty. Hey guys, I need you to do me a favor. I just pinned a comment from another account that I just made because somehow I got all 3 accounts taken down yesterday. Somehow. Crazy. Oh my goodness. I need to stop. Shoot. I might have messed up my YouTube. Oh no, we are up. Cool. I just couldn't see it. Yeah, make sure you guys are following that account that I just pinned on TikTok. YouTube, you guys are fine. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna put it up a few times. Ugh. Apparently, Pixie. Apparently, you can't say Epstein. Yeah, I'm wearing the contacts today. I actually keep forgetting to wear them because I'm supposed to be testing them out, so I know which. Ones are best, so I can tell my optometrist on Monday. And I keep forgetting to wear them, so I decided I was going to wear it today. Wow. All right, thank you guys. As you guys are coming in, please double tap that screen. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys on the TikTok side, if you're on the YouTube side, just hang out. We'll get to you in a bit. So, do you do these lives every day? Normally, I take Thursdays off. Normally, I do it 6 days a week, and I take Thursdays off. Skylin, I am on TikTok. I am on my backup account on TikTok because my main account is not up anymore. It's going to be gone for another week or so. Yes, I am actually live, Andrew. Why do people ask, like, every single day? Like, doesn't it show up as live? I don't even know. Yes, I'm live, Andrew. I am actually live. Yes. This is a real life thing. We're doing this live. That's what makes it so much fun. It's because when I'm having discussions and stuff, if like I'm wrong or something like that, like just live, y'all can just, just correct me, make me look like an idiot. Oh, really? No, Gringa, I don't have I don't have like no, I don't have that. You can see my pre-recorded lives. Like they are posted onto my video. But no, I don't play like pre-recorded stuff when I'm live. When I'm live, I'm live. I mean, I do this 6 days a week. I think y'all would get enough of me. Hopefully, we will be. I just actually looked into a new system too for phone calls and stuff. So I'm gonna play around with that tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm gonna play around with that tomorrow. All right, y'all. I'm gonna do this one more time over here on the TikTok side. Since we're at just over 200 people in here. All right, I'm gonna pin this comment again. If you guys haven't already followed this account, please follow the account of the comment I just pinned. I'm trying to get access. Yeah, follow this account if you don't already follow this account. Then there's a pinned comment. Follow that account too. This is my backup. That's like my 4th backup. I have so many accounts. I have so many accounts. You know how many accounts I have on YouTube? 1, because they're not psychopaths. Okay. I may, Ari. I'm trying to get more followers on this account first. Epstein is here. Oh my God, guys. Jeffrey Epstein is in the chat on YouTube. You missed John. I didn't know. Like, why did Johnny must have just stopped on YouTube. I don't know what happened. Yeah. He still does on TikTok. He's still there on TikTok. Guess he didn't like YouTube for whatever reason. Good old Johnny. Good old Johnny. Yes, I actually did get it. Better question. Jeffrey, welcome back from the dead. Okay. I would say it's good to see you, but it's not. All right. How's your buddy Trump doing? Did I get the shirt from this year's tour? Yes, I actually did see them in May. And that's where I got the shirt, actually. So, yeah. Excited. Jock is just ready for today's train fact. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. All right, y'all. We're about to get this thing started, get this thing moving. Really appreciate you guys. If you guys support Trump, go ahead and call in the number that's above my head. Why do I look so whitewashed? I don't look that whitewashed on my screen. You can call that number above my head. I already see some phone calls coming in, so we're about to open up these phone lines. But yeah, again, sorry for like the fact that like I can only take one call at a time, and if you call in and I'm on the phone, then that's just what it is. But I actually am looking into ways to fix that. I'm gonna play with it tomorrow. Hopefully, I can fix this. Where I can actually have a queue coming up soon. And if you guys follow Ari, if I fix it, then she fixes it, because that's how this works. So. All right, let's open up these phone lines. Let's get this thing going. Let's see what's up. I'd like to see vegan gains debate. Who's vegan? Am I vegan gains? Because I'm very far from vegan. Very, very far from vegans. Southern Horseman. I would like to let you know that Streamlabs is just a bot. Okay? It can't respond to you. It's just a bot. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How old are you?
I am 36.
Awesome. Do you support Trump?
I do.
Sorry, guys, Streamlabs is just a bot. It's just hold on. You stand by for a second. It's just a bot. Okay? It can't understand you. It's not sentient. All right? It's just an AI bot that sits in the chat and gets rid of words. That's all it does. I feel like I've talked to you before. You sound familiar.
It's the policies of Kamala Harris that I don't like.
Yeah, I didn't ask you anything about that.
It is. No, I love your.
All right. Well, since you're not going to be serious, I'll just move on to the next person. Make this easier. Bro, they be fighting with a bot. Like it literally is just a bot with mod powers. Okay? That's it. Just if you say something that's against the rules, it just mutes you. That's all. Okay? You can't I see you guys tagging it and being like, "Hey, like stop it." Like it does not have feelings. Okay? Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Who is this?
Hello, how are you? Goodbye. It doesn't. Where are the rules? They're just out in the ether. They're just out in the ether. All right, y'all. If you guys voted for Trump and support Trump, there's two ways you can get a hold of me. One, if you're on the TikTok side, you can hit that multi-guest request button. Coming that way. If you're on the YouTube side, you can call in on the number that's above my head. And that is how you'll converse with me. It'll take a little bit more of time to, get it going without the TikTok thing. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. Mr. Stacks, it is live. It is not pre-recorded. See, here's your comment up on the screen. This is fully live. Hello, how are you? Hello?
Meow, meow.
It is so live. Yes, apparently it is pre-recorded. Yeah, Hulk Hogan is not a good person at all. Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I am 29 years old, and I would just like to hear why you don't like Trump.
No, I'm not interested in that. I'm asking, do you support Trump?
I don't know much about him. That's why I was asking you to inform me.
Yeah, and not a problem. But if you're just interested in being informed on the things Trump is doing and the things Trump is not doing, then I advise that you just hang out, hit that subscribe button, sit around and listen as I talk to other people that support Trump, and that's going to be your best way to get information. But it's not worth it for me to just sit here and just preach to you all of the reasons that Trump is bad, because we'd be here just for hours, like maybe days.
Right. All right. Well, you might hear back from me.
Yeah, sounds great, man.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, dude. Yeah, absolutely, man. Have a good one. Yeah, it's just better that way. It's just better that way. I would say if we're gonna start someplace, I would say the fact that Trump knew he was in the Epstein files 3 months ago. That'd be like a great start. Hello, how are you?
Oh, how are you?
I mean, that's just a great start, but there's plenty more. We can go forever. Yeah, it's just honestly, if you don't even know anything that was going on with Trump, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, whatever, but it's not like this is really a fair conversation to be having, because I know most of everything that's going on, so it'd just be kind of weird, wouldn't really we wouldn't really benefit too much from that. Anywho, all right. I'm sure we'll get a good person to talk to here soon. It's taking a little longer to get started than normal, but that's okay. It usually happens when I'm on my backup account on TikTok, but that's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there very soon. No big deal. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? I'm pausing the video, chat with you for a minute here. I don't want to get a feedback going on the radio or on the tablet like we used to do on the radio. Anyways,
hi. So how old are you?
I'm 37.
Awesome. Do you support Trump?
I do, as a matter of lesser of two evils.
Yeah, the lessers of two evils argument doesn't really work here.
It doesn't. But what's the other option with the two-party system that we have?
Well, the other option would have been the person that wasn't a felon, wasn't an adjudicated sexual assaulter, hadn't defrauded a children's cancer charity, hadn't bragged about having sex in common with his daughter, hadn't sexualized a 10-year-old, hadn't bragged about going backstage at Miss Teen USA to see girls between the ages of 13 and 19 naked. The option was literally anybody else but him.
A lot of that stuff that you mentioned there is ad hominem, and I didn't get a chance to write it down or anything.
Awesome. So what's an ad hominem?
Ad hominem is an attack on the person's character. I don't have a dictionary in front of me.
Yeah, so a person being a felon is not an attack on their character. That's just what he is.
I said most of what you said. The implication of his criminal history really doesn't hold much bearing on whether he can hold office or not.
But that's not what you asked.
That's a moral issue.
But that's not what the comment you made. You said the lesser of two evils, and when we talk about things being the lesser of two evils, evil is a moral argument. So therefore, when you're talking about something being the lesser of two evils, you're saying that one was worse than the other from a moral standpoint. So how do you expect me to argue your lesser of two evils argument without making a moral standpoint?
No, I'm with you there. Perhaps I phrased it wrong. The lesser of two evils in terms of what the proper choice for the sustainment of America in terms of what the other option was, what Kamala and what we were offered democratically.
Sure, Donald Trump in his first term literally had the recession, had more debt added to the national debt in his first term than any other president in history, had more drone strikes in his first presidency than even Obama did, who was known for that. Okay, so what exactly was he offering that was actually good, even from that standpoint?
Well, I think that his ability to and don't get me wrong, I don't have a fact sheet here to draw.
Neither do I.
Factoids off of or anything like that. But without an equally as and don't get me wrong, I'm 37 years old. Unfortunately, I have never voted in my life because the state that I live in, it's a foregone conclusion whether I vote or not. But I would have gladly voted for Bernie Sanders back in 2016. In fact, I'm surprised that he didn't get the nomination. Voted in primary for Hillary Clinton back in 2008 when Obama was running. So I consider myself, staunchly independent. But
awesome.
In terms of
hold on. I want to question that. So you said you would vote for Bernie Sanders, you would vote for Hillary Clinton, but you wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris. That makes no sense.
Well, it's a matter of what we had seen play out with Joe Biden, and the
what did we see?
We saw it was farcical. There was a lot of doublespeak going on. He clearly wasn't competent to be president for many years, for perhaps for the entirety of his presidency.
And what proof of that do you have?
Well, the quote, black kids are just as smart as rich white kids, or whatever he said. He's just, tons of gaffes. Those when those keep happening repeatedly, and poor kids are just as smart as white kids, or those types of things. And not and George W. Bush had plenty of those moments, but he was on point, and there was so many instances where we were being told, hey, this guy's on point, and it just wasn't the case.
Gotcha. So how do you feel about the fact that Donald Trump literally said that he had a trade deal going on with the EU while holding up a folder that was full of blank papers?
That's
and then
funny. I didn't
wasn't
hear or see anything about that,
and wasn't even talking to somebody that was in the EU.
Yeah, I mean, and they're all bullshit artists, right?
No, it's not a matter of being a bullshit artist, sir. If you're going to make comparisons and say that Biden wasn't capable of running the country because he made a misstep within a sentence at some point, then I want you to keep that same energy when you're talking about Trump.
No, those are two parallels that don't have much overlap, because one, we're talking about a Manchurian candidate with Joe Biden. It was clear that he was not in control.
I'm sorry, sir. Again,
But
I'm asking you to tell me why you think he wasn't in control. And again, the only thing that you said is that he said a sentence that you didn't like, and Trump says a sentence that doesn't make any sense or that I don't like, pretty much on a daily basis.
You know,
He literally just said, like on True Social just recently, that somehow Obama wrote the Epstein files when the literal Epstein thing didn't happen until after Obama was out of office. Oh yeah, and he was president.
Yeah. Now, okay. So there's a good example, right? When Donald Trump, and don't get me wrong, I was a never Trumper back in 2016, and I'm surprised that he even got elected, to be honest with you. But when Donald Trump makes a statement that's false, you know that he's just lying. When Joe Biden makes these gaffes and these statements that he's telegraphing his incompetence, and that was the problem that I had with it, was that it wasn't the statement itself. It was that someone who makes statements like that is not really, fit to be making other decisions on behalf.
Gotcha.
And
so you think that
Trump
it wasn't that Trump didn't have a clue that he was holding blank papers and that there was no trade deal in there. And not that he didn't have a clue and was too incompetent to understand that he was talking to the leader of the UK and not anybody actually in the EU. It's not that he didn't know that stuff. It's that he was lying.
Yeah. And whether he was actually lying, whether he was lying or not, it's a big club and we ain't in it.
It's not a matter. Sir, that's not what I asked you. How about at the NRA convention when literally his teleprompter shut off and he froze for almost 40 seconds? Like, and what about when he said that no one about his sharks and batteries, or about Hannibal Lecter being a good person, or that windmills cause cancer, or that thinking that he can redraw a hurricane, or that we should nuke hurricanes? Are all of those just him just lying, or?
Well, it's probably a toss-up between lies and pandering. He knows his base, and he knows that he has to say the right thing to get to evoke the right reaction and get support and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. So when Joe Biden does it, he's incompetent. Well, when Donald Trump does the exact same thing, he's pandering or lying. Do you not see your complete double standard here? When I am making sir, I have just made
two different things.
Yeah, but I have just made significantly more examples of Donald Trump doing incompetent things than Joe Biden. Okay, significantly more.
Those
he literally got on television and said that a photoshopped image of Kilmer Abrego Garcia that was obviously written in Arial font in Photoshop was a real tattoo.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about there, but we're talking about a matter of incompetence that is indicative of someone without their faculties.
And I just made about 9 examples of that for Donald Trump.
Not in the legal sense here, and this is
not in the legal sense, not control of your faculties. When was Joe Biden ever found in a legal sense not to be control of his faculties?
Very recently, before he left office.
Sure, where was that?
Left office, let me, if you don't mind, let me put you on speakerphone here, and I can pull up an arttle for you. But
yeah,
his own department, some department in the executive branch, and if I remember correctly here, and a lot of this stuff isn't really stuff that I spend a lot of time thinking about. But
it sounds like you've spent no time thinking about it.
To Joe, if you're asking Joe Sixpack to give you his gut feeling about whether Donald Trump or Kamala Harris would have been the right decision to lead the country, I think that the
no, sir, I'm not asking Joe Schmo to tell me about his gut. I'd like to talk about reality. Okay, because your gut just says that's how you feel. It's your feelings about who is more competent and who's not competent. No, sir, that's literally what you're saying by saying your gut is you're saying this is how I feel. Okay.
I think you're drawing some conclusions about what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. Then what does your gut mean?
Yeah. Someone's ability to lead. Someone's ability.
No. I didn't ask about that. I said you said that it's somebody's gut. I'm saying that's just your feelings. So, what does your gut mean other than feelings?
Yeah, don't get too caught up on whether my turn of phrase here is specific to the picture that I'm trying to paint for you. It's more of a matter of whether the right man or woman for the job. For instance, I feel like
Well, none of that
somebody like
matters because
Tulsi.
Joe Biden wasn't even running against Donald Trump. So if you're talking about Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, that didn't even matter because he was not even running against Donald Trump because he dropped out of the race. And Kamala Harris, who is a very healthy, very within her faculties, 60-year-old woman that was much younger than either of them and much more probably educated than all of them and much more qualified than probably either of them before they took president, was actually running against him. So even if you somehow make the argument, that's super cool. Even if you somehow make the argument that Joe Biden wasn't the right person against Donald Trump, that's not even who was running.
Yeah, and those are parallels that are completely different conversations in terms of comparing Donald Trump to Joe Biden versus Donald Trump to Kamala. But I just it's a tough choice, right? And
No.
it's Coke or Pepsi, unfortunately.
No, it's not.
And you were curious when I called in how old I am. How old are you? Just out of curiosity.
38.
48. Okay. So you've been around long enough to see these guys do their smoke and mirrors act and put on a big show, and then
even
not
more
really.
importantly, I was here for Donald Trump's first term, so I could see that he put on a giant smoke and mirrors act and that he got almost nothing accomplished. While I also watched the president that you said wasn't competent at all his entire time, which I agree he probably shouldn't have been running for president as far as 80. I believe that he was competent for most of it. Maybe towards the end he started to, be a little elder in age and not be where he should be as far as president. But I also saw him pass monumental bills that helped the American people, where Donald Trump passed nothing that helped the American people.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Biden did attempt to make some social reform. I've always been of the personal opinion that when you have somebody like a Donald Trump, the only response to that is someone like a Bernie Sanders, or you have to fight fire with ice, right? You can't bring an ice cube to a volcano, right? And that's essentially what Kamala was to Donald Trump.
Well, that's not true because Biden was literally that.
No, Biden wasn't a Bernie Sanders.
I didn't say he was a Bernie Sanders. You said you can't fight fire with ice. You have to fight it with a volcano. And Biden, I think that literally the best example of him would be ice, and he beat Donald Trump.
I just feel like Biden wasn't the right candidate for the Democratic Party, and it's unfortunate that the Democratic Party feels constrained by the DNC and their.
I'm not a Democrat.
Their status quo.
I'm not a Democrat.
Neither am I. But we're stuck.
But that has nothing to do with it because again, Joe Biden wasn't running against him. It was Kamala Harris, who was obliviously better than both of them, like just ridiculously better.
In her defense, which I don't have very much of, just because I don't think she's a good fit for the country.
Why?
Just hold that thought for a minute. She didn't get a chance to really develop her campaign. And you mentioned earlier that Biden didn't run against Donald Trump, but he did up until 90 days to 4 months before the election. He even had a debate with him. So I mean, the whole party, the whole DNC is in shambles. To round out where I'm going with the reason why I called today is that we're stuck with the two-party system that we have, but I sincerely hope that we're at such a breaking point that we realize that the need for third, fourth, fifth, a plethora of additional parties that actually have platform, that have representation in the debates to break up this hold your nose and vote kind of situation that we found ourselves in, practically since this country has been in existence, but with very few minor exceptions.
No, we're much further away from that now. The election of Donald Trump made us significantly further away from that than we ever were.
I would disagree there. I would say that when Ralph Nader and Ross Perot, back in the early 90s, when I believe it was Ross Perot had a stellar showing at the debates, the RNC and the DNC colluded to basically create these requirements that stop third-party candidates from being able to speak at debates without certain requirements being met, which were arbitrary and were in their own interest. So, the two parties, they they collude to stop the grassroots origination of third party, like the Occupy Wall Street Party, if you want to call it that, the Tea Party, which came a couple of years later.
Sir, what does that have to do anything with right now? We are further away from having a third party than we were before Donald Trump was elected. You're just making instances of past times when it was closer to us having a third party, when none of that has to do with what's going on right now. Because the reason that we're further away from having a third party right now is because you have allowed Donald Trump to push the Overton window so far right that we do not have the space for a third party. The correct way to do it is we have to move the more to the center, and that's what creates third parties. And Kamala Harris's campaign and Joe Biden, the way that he was a more centrist candidate, and so therefore would have allowed for more expansion within a third party system. But the fact that we have gone so far right, literally all the way into fascism, okay, does not give a spot for a third party, because it cuts off everything in order to make a party that will currently take out the current fascist system. And so therefore, even though I don't agree with the Democratic Party on lots of things, I am more likely to vote for the Democrats now, just simply because of the shift in the Overton window.
I think that I'm going to disagree with your statement that polarization creates a situation where third parties cannot occur, because I feel like both instances are true. I feel personally like it's less likely to happen when you have candidates who are centrist and appeal more to both sides, because there is no need there, or the public at large would not see, single issue voters, voters who have relatively little skin in the game in terms of their what would you call it? Like when we see the left and the right get polarized to such extremes that there is no center, and that not only is there no center, there is no left, or there's no right. It's a right time for third parties, and
but
really
that's not what's happening.
No, it's not, because that picture that I was trying to paint for you back in the 90s,
because the left isn't polarized. The Democratic Party is the Democratic Party is centrist right now, and the right and the conservative party, the Republicans, which aren't even a conservative party anymore, are far right. Okay, so the Democratic Party is center. The Democratic Party in every single other country on this planet would be the conservative party.
So you're telling me that our Democratic Party that wants to champion the rights for, or the quote unquote rights for children to have transgender surgery is center?
Awesome. And so can you please show me a prominent left person in the Democratic Party who has championed that?
I off the top of my head I can't, but
because they don't exist.
That's the party line.
No, that is not the party line, sir. That is the Republican Party line. Literally, the only time that I ever hear about this is from Republicans. Literally, there is not a single Democratic candidate that has championed those ideas that you're talking about. That is something that Republicans talk about to make the left seem like they're far left, when that has literally not been a political stance of a singular fucking Democratic candidate yet. Literally, not even in a single Democratic state are transgender surgeries even legal before, I believe, the age of 17.
So you're not familiar with what's going on in California, where
I'm very familiar with what's going on in California.
Class and the teachers aren't telling the parents.
Children are surgically transitioning in class. That's pretty impressive.
Not in class. No,
that's what you just said.
I didn't say that.
Yes,
I said they are presenting themselves. They're starting the process of transitioning in schools, and the teachers are not telling the parents, and you don't see the eventual.
Yeah, no, sorry, you can't start a process of a transition in a school. That takes years and years of medicine, therapy, and freaking correct doctors. That cannot happen in a school.
It starts somewhere, man. So be honest.
Yeah. So does being straight. Being straight starts someplace. Having an attraction to women, for me, started at some place. That doesn't mean that it's freaking starting in school, or that a transition period is starting in schools. See, that's why I mean it's a right policy. It is literally the right. It's people like you saying bullshit like this, which is the only reason that this is even talked about in the public sphere. Like truly, I know this because I am a leftist and I am way further left than Democratic Party. And the only people that ever talk to me about this stuff is people on the right. Ever.
I think
Not one time, not one
it.
time as a person on the left approached me and be like, hey, did you hear about like the transgender stuff that's going on? And you know, how great it is that all these transgender things are kids or like all this sort of stuff. Not one time, 0 times in my entire life has that ever happened. The only people that talk about it are people on the right. That's it.
Yeah, because people tend to, you know, bring up their grievances when they're upset, not when they're, you know, satisfied with the way things are going.
Don't you think that freaking Donald Trump freaking having a grievance against trans people would be something that the left would be furious about then?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Well, if that's the case, then literally Donald Trump's huge attack on everything would have made the left furious. And again, it's still not the left's talking points. This is your fear, sir. This is what drives these conversations.
I don't
is people like you and people on the right's fear of transgender people that causes these conversations. Okay. And the right, especially places like Fox News. Yes, you are.
You know,
but that people on the right, because they know that they can scare people by going, oh, the transgender people, oh, they're coming into your schools. They're going to be playing softball next to your kids. And then the right freaks out. Okay. And it gets you guys all riled up.
It's a simple issue. Right. It's about whether a parent has the right to look out for what's best for their child. And we're seeing just some very strange things happen. And I don't want to get too hung up on that because I know it's a hot button.
Let me ask you a question.
It's a hot button issue.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Should a parent get to decide whether a child has a rape kit done on them if it's suspected that the parent is the one doing that act?
Of course, the answer, of course, is no. First of all,
but really, because literally, people use the exact same argument that you just used to make it where parents are able to stop that from happening. Okay, because the parents need to know what's best for the child.
Matter.
That criminal matter can literally a parent a doctor does not have the right. The parents have the right because of arguments like yours.
When it comes to just like a doctor or a teacher has.
So do you think that a parent? Do you think that you're no? I'm good. So do your parents get to decide whether you're straight or gay?
You need to stop right there.
No, I don't. I need to know whether you think that your parents should be able to decide whether you're straight or gay.
And try to move on from this, and this is important here.
No, sir, this is already happening. Doctors can't do anything about it. They have to let the parents in the fucking room.
They're duty bound to report.
They are duty bound to report. Yes, they are
bound to report child abuse.
Ding dong.
Are you out of your mind?
They have to report it, but they cannot stop the parents from talking to the child and not having a rape kit done. They cannot stop that. They have to report it, but they can't make sure a rape kit is done. And that was the fucking question, not whether they fucking have to report it. But that's okay because you want the parents. Because you want the parents. Nope, the states can't step in because people like you are saying that parents have the rights to their children. Your exact statement is the exact.
If the police believe a crime is occurring, and you don't think that a police officer step in and stop it?
Your exact rhetoric is the exact reason why those laws exist. That's why I was drawing the comparison. Just like your parents can't tell you whether you're gay or straight, or whether a sexual assault has happened to you or not. Your parents also can't say whether their kid is fucking trans or not, because that is the kid, and that's why they have to go to doctors and therapists and all of the correct things in order to find out whether somebody is trans or not. And the parent, due to their bigotry, should not be able to fucking decide whether their kid is trans or not, whether their kid is gay or straight, whether their kid is Christian or not. The parents don't get to do that.
When the child becomes an adult and turns 18, you betcha. But if a parent doesn't want to let their child smoke cigarettes or vapes or whatever the fuck these are doing these days, and a whole plethora, they don't want to let them watch rated R movies.
That's also against the law. Being trans isn't against the law.
It's not. No, but
Yeah, but
it's
smoking
it's about,
cigarettes
it's about
is against the law. Watching rated R movies is literally against the law.
I'm not totally sure. It's against the rules. I'm not sure that it's against the
Oh, so
law.
you think kids are just able to smoke?
No, of course not. We're talking about
Then why are
movies
you
here,
making a
but
comparison
I
between?
don't want to get caught
Why
up
are
in
you making
the
a difference
weeds.
between something that's an
Because it's
internal
about
fucking ideology of a
it's
child and something that is
about a
literally
parent's
against the
right.
law?
It's about a parent's right to govern their child, to raise the child, to have the proper rights to the child until they're an adult, right? So
you're saying that all parents are good parents?
No, of course not.
Oh, so you think that parents should be able to allow parents should be allowed to harm their children, and that the government shouldn't be able to step in?
No, of course not either.
Well,
no,
do you know that untreated
but
that transgender kids that go untreated have an increased rate of 50% on their suicide rate? So literally, if there's a trans kid who's not being treated because of their parents, they have a 50% greater chance of freaking committing suicide. Do you not think that that's harm?
I've heard those statistics before, but like I said, man, I'm 38 years old. I came up in the punk community.
Actually, you
hey,
said
babe,
you were
take a walk on the
37.
wild side.
I'm 38.
Oh, excuse me. I'm 30. Yeah, I just turned.
You forgot how old you
Sorry.
were.
Sometimes, yeah. Of course, dude, we're pushing 40. It's easy to forget how old you are. Anyway,
I mean, I remember.
Okay, good for you. Anyways, I was part of the what is it, the second or third punk revival wave back in the 2000s, and anyway, you interrupted me there, and I forgot where I was going with that. But I've been around the block, and I know some people that have transitioned and all that kind of stuff. And regardless of what the parents wanted, a lot of times it was respected that we just knew that until we turned 18, we didn't have the ability to go, stay out all night or sleep over at our friend's house if we didn't want to and stuff like that. And I think that's where people's problem comes in with a lot of this stuff, is that there's stuff that's so far outside of what's traditionally been parenting, that it's people are not digging it. And anyway,
it is really, first of all, let's be very clear. Staying out late and when you get fucking home is a lot different than a child's entire identity and how they see themselves. So again, that's a really bad comparison. Second of all, it is really sad that somebody that's my age that apparently considers himself punk is instead of, fight the government and freaking create anarchy, which is what punk was created off of, was being anti fucking government, that you're super tread on me daddy right now. Like the fact that you have completely claimed to be a punk, but you're literally saying the government should be able to do this and do that and blah 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 is really crazy, dude. It's sad that I guess it really was a phase for you, wasn't it?
Certainly not. But
it sounds like
I'm
to
sure
me.
You've seen SLC and punk. You gotta, sometimes you have to grow up. Everybody does, some sooner than later. Anyway, this conversation has run its course, and I think we're at a point where people are so polarized that there's not very much point into having these conversations, because nobody's opinions are going to change.
Yeah, there's tons of people people's opinions that change all the time. Okay, literally, they message me all the time and they go, "Hey, there's a lot of information that you showed me that I wasn't aware of, and I went and researched it and I looked it up and I saw what you were talking about, and my opinion has changed because the facts have changed." So don't pretend some reason that because you were dug in on your opinion, regardless of what the facts say, and you have refused. So, sir, I'm talking. I'm talking.
Well.
Yeah, just because you've dug in and you've decided that no matter how many facts are presented in an argument, you have decided exactly what you're going to decide and exactly how you're going to feel, and you're not going to change. Don't pretend that because of that other people feel the exact same way as you do, because other people are looking for facts, they're looking for evidence, and they're willing to change their opinions as the facts and evidence change, including me. Okay, because my opinions gladly change along with the facts and the evidence of a situation all the time. That's what's called intelligence. So what you should do is, instead of thinking that nobody's going to change their mind, you should take a good, strong look at yourself and realize that you should be changing yours due to the change in facts. Okay.
Oh, I'm always open to new facts and information.
Well, have a wonderful
change my
day.
Mind, but
all right. Like you said, this has run its course. Joshua, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. He said you can't hit a Trump supporter with facts. It scares them. Thank you so much, Josh. I really appreciate that. And Xavier, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. It says listening to you is auditory gold. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you so much, Xavier. Ryan and who's that? Jody. Thank you guys for the paid subscriptions on TikTok. I really appreciate that. Adventures with Josh. Thank you so much for the 10 jewels. I appreciate that also. Guys, if you like support, I do have super chats, super stickers, gifts, all that sort of stuff open on YouTube. I also have the Summer of Love gift going on TikTok, and we're on a subwave right now, so we need 3 more to hit that subwave. So if you guys like to support, those are all great ways to do it. I really appreciate that. Also, I do have my pay links all in my bio as normal, all in my link tree. Go make sure you check out my link tree. Lots of cool stuff in there. All right, I'm going to keep these lines back open. We're going to move on to the next person. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hello, how are you today?
Not too bad.
Awesome. How old are you?
I am 33.
Awesome. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Why is that?
I support Trump because he is enforcing the immigration law and actually deporting illegals.
Really? Because he's deported something around like 250,000 undocumented migrants this year, and Joe Biden deported 685,000 last year.
Define undocumented migrants. That's illegal alien, correct?
Sir, no, it's not. But regardless of that, Joe Biden deported more.
Wait. Okay, so define.
Sir, I'm not
undocumented
playing
migrant
dictionary
for me.
mode with you. You said you like Donald Trump because he's enforcing the
Yeah,
law.
'cause
Obviously,
he's deporting
Biden.
illegals. He's deporting criminals. Yes,
sir,
that's a good thing.
Joe Biden deported more.
Okay.
At a faster
and you
rate.
support that, right? You support.
No, but
you
that's not
support
a
that,
reason
right?
to support Donald Trump. You're saying that you support Donald Trump because he's deporting undocumented
Yeah,
immigrants.
because he's actually enforcing the law.
Sir, let me finish the sentence and then maybe you'll know what to respond with.
Sure.
Yeah, you're supporting Donald Trump because he's doing what you said he was doing, what you want him to do, not as well as Joe Biden.
I disagree. And what
the
evidence do you have
numbers-
that Joe Biden was, hold on.
Because the Customs and Border Patrol numbers that I just said to you, maybe you weren't listening
Yeah.
because you were trying to talk so fast.
So hold on. Why did we need a Border Control Act? Right?
What do you mean? Why did we need a
You know
Border
what the Border Control Act was?
You mean Donald Trump's
That was
executive
the-
order that just pretty much
No,
shut down legal
I'm
migration?
talking about Congress. I'm talking about how the Democrats kept saying that, Republicans never.
Oh, you mean comprehensive
supported the Border
immigration?
fucking Act.
You mean comprehensive immigration reform? That's not Border
Absolutely.
Patrol Act. That's an immigration
Whatever,
reform
man.
bill.
Okay, you said you don't want to get into dictionary definitions, so why are you doing it to me now?
It's not a dictionary definition. It's just what things are.
Right. So, like I was saying, I support Trump because he's deporting illegals.
Yes, he's deporting illegals, not as well as Biden.
Right. Okay, and so you obviously supported Biden.
I don't. Who said I supported
illegals
Biden?
Then. You supported Biden removing
Who said
illegals?
Who said I supported Biden at all?
Do you support Biden?
Wait, I said who said I supported Biden at all?
You said Biden did this.
I just
Right?
made a statement. If you're going to say you support Donald Trump for
Okay.
doing something not as
Are
well
you a
as Biden,
Democrat?
no,
Are you anti-Trump?
I'm not a Democrat and I'm not anti anything.
So you're not anti-Trump?
No, why would I be anti-Trump?
Because you're asking Trump supporters to call in so that you can
Well,
have
that's
a
because
dialogue.
Trump's not good at being president.
Okay,
If
why?
Trump was good at being president,
why
then I would
is
be.
he not good at being
if
president?
Donald Trump,
You're saying your
sir,
guy did the same thing. So what do you have a problem with?
Again, Joe Biden is not my guy.
So
Second
who
of
is
all,
your guy?
Sir, are you going to let me answer any of the things that you're saying, or every time I might get ready to
Who's
say,
paying you for this?
oh, just
I
George
want to know
Soros?
who's funding you, because you have a number on there, and there's several other channels that have a similar number. All the Google Voice number.
There's
They're
several
all doing
different
the same
channels that
thing.
all have the same number, have the same thing.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
please tell me the
It
other
seems
channels?
silly. It seems.
What
it
are the other
seems like
channels?
You're paid by someone.
What are the other channels?
By a central agency.
What's the other channels?
What do you mean? There's like 5 I saw. That
Okay,
have
can you
the
name me
same
2 of them?
thing. It's a dude with the Google Voice number saying Trump voters call in.
What's his name?
Fuck, I don't know.
Well, I don't believe you then.
Okay. So what are we talking about? I mean, if you don't support Biden,
You guys should go support those other creators.
Why are you having Trump support?
The only people that support me are people that freaking want to listen to me have conversations, which you're doing a very bad job of having a conversation with me because you're just hollering and screaming every time I say 3 words. Okay. So the only people that do that are people that freaking want to support the live and want to support freaking different creators like me. And I really appreciate them. Speaking of that, Marilyn, thank you so much for the $20 super chat or $20 cash app. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. That really means a lot to me. One Pixie, thank you so much for the 99-cent super chat. And Sasha, thank you so much for the 10 jewels on YouTube. I really appreciate that. So, also, I'm pretty sure I just got a paid sub over on TikTok. Carol, thank you so much for the paid subscription. I really appreciate that also.
I'm happy that you're talking to your audience, but we're having a conversation now,
I
right?
was trying to have a conversation with you, but every time I said 3 words, you just see just like that. See, just like that, where every single time I say
what is your point?
Sir, here's how this is going to... No, be quiet.
I think that it's good that illegals are getting deported.
Be quiet.
You agree.
Be quiet.
That illegals getting deported is a good thing.
Be quiet.
Fuck you.
All right, well, I've had better offers. I'm sorry. See, here's how this is going to work. Either I am going to be able to get sentences out for us actually to be able to have a conversation. Okay. And then I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Or you're going to continue to keep cutting me off 3 words into every sentence. And I'm going to hang on the phone and then bring up somebody who knows how to act like an adult. It's up to you.
Go on.
Awesome. I am not a Democrat. Biden is not my guy. I don't have a guy because I don't sit there and freaking celebritize freaking politicians. Politicians are there to do a job. They're there to do what the constituents of their, jurisdictions or their regions need them to do. And so I don't have a guy just the way that you have Biden or you have Trump, right? That's your guy.
Wait a minute.
I don't have guys like that. You see how you're talking while I'm talking again. How old did you say you were, sir?
Clarify my position when you're finished.
Sir, how old did you say you were?
I'm 33.
You're 33. I'm assuming at this point you graduated kindergarten.
Have you?
Yes. And see, when I was in kindergarten, I learned how to have a conversation. Okay?
Sure.
But you seem to refuse. So this is the last time.
My position?
This is the
you keep going on.
Not interested.
That's not my position. I'm not
interested.
So
this will be the last time I try to make a sentence out, and the next thing you will hear is the phone hang up if you don't let me get it out, okay? Last chance. I've given you multiple chances. This is chance 3.
Get it out.
Okay?
Say it.
Chance 3. All right, perfect. Adventures with Josh. Thank you so much for the jewels, too. I see all that. That is really, really awesome. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's pretty simple, dude. When we're talking about immigration, Donald Trump said he was going to have the largest mass deportation act since the Mexican Repatriation Act. That didn't happen. He tried to declare the 1798 freaking Alien Enemies Act, which is a wartime act, which we're not freaking under, which again has caused him to pretty much just go in and arrest a bunch of people that were just living their everyday lives and doing their jobs. And when he was doing that, he freaking started attacking agricultural industries because that's one of the major industries in which they work, in which he had to overturn that because it was hurting his red districts. Less than 15% of the people that he's deporting have any criminal record outside of crossing the border, which again is a Class C misdemeanor, okay? It's literally nothing as far as our legal system is concerned. He's ripping people out there trying to do things the right way. He's taking away people who did do things the right way, and he's currently taking people out of the process of trying to do things the right way and deporting him. If it was just him trying to stop people at the southern border, I have no issue with that. I think that we should have a very strong southern border. I think that's a very good thing for the United States to have, right? Or any other border. I think we should have a good northern border and east and west borders also. And I also think getting rid of criminals is also a very good thing. But when he's starting to take people that are here, that have been here 20, 30 years, people who know nothing else other than their lives, other than this country, who are working, who are contributing to our society, and ripping them away from their families, I don't think that that's helpful. Not only is it freaking cost $17,000 on average for each single undocumented immigrant that is freaking deported, but they also contributed $100 billion into our freaking in taxes between state, local, and federal taxes just last year. So it's a negative for them, it's a negative for us, and it does not help anything.
Are you finished?
You see how I finished talking? This is why I asked you about the kindergarten thing.
I'm asking so I don't interrupt you because you're setting the tone, right? I don't want to be rude.
Yeah. So again, this is why I asked the kindergarten thing, because I stopped talking. That's when it's your cue.
Okay, I'm just making sure so I don't speak over you. Are you finished? Is that, I mean, because if that is, it sounds like to me, one, you don't have a problem with deporting illegal immigrants. Is that correct? Or did I misunderstand what you just said?
Nobody has a problem with deporting undocumented migrants, sir.
Okay.
Nobody.
Great.
Who does?
that's awesome.
Can you please
So
tell me
we're
who
on the
does?
same page.
Can you
I'm
please
glad
tell
we
me who
agree.
has a problem with that?
Democrats.
No, they don't. Literally, again, freaking Biden deported more undocumented immigrants in his last term than Trump did in his first term. And Biden, if you just take the first 6 months of last year, deported more migrants last year than Donald Trump has this year.
Okay.
So therefore, Democrats deport at a higher rate than freaking Donald Trump does. So therefore, no, Democrats do not have a problem with deporting people.
Fine, which is great. I agree. And, it's great that we're on the same side.
We're not on the same
appreciate
side,
that.
sir. You're on the side of people that get... No, you're on the
Okay,
side
wait a
of
minute.
people
Hold on.
You're on
What
the
side are you on, then?
Yeah, I'm not on the side of people that are trying to be here legally being deported. You are.
Okay, but they're not here legally.
Doesn't matter.
Right? You said that.
I didn't say...
Why does it not
sir,
matter?
Because I said...
hold on.
I want you to hear very clearly what I said.
I'm talking.
Because
Stop
that's not what I said.
interrupting me, please.
No, because you just misrepresented
You're
what I said.
being a kindergartner.
Okay, what I said was...
Through kindergarten? Hold on. Have you gone through kindergarten?
Hold on. Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that?
Sure. Have you
go ahead.
Through kindergarten?
All right. Oh, man. Oh, that noise. Oh, God, it's gone. That's great. All right, we're going to move on to the next guest. I really appreciate
insane.
that. Jocular says, according to 8 U.S. Code 1325, it is a Class B misdemeanor, not a Class C misdemeanor. My fault. I apologize. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Jocular, for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the correction. Hello, how are you?
Oh, hi.
Hi, how are you today?
Honestly, I'm fine.
That's great. How old are you?
Is it okay if I keep that anonymous?
No, it's not.
Oh, I just want to say I'm in high school. Is that fine?
Yeah, well, now you definitely have to tell me how old you are. Actually, I'm just going to preemptively drop you regardless. Because that's just enough for me to say I probably don't need to be talking to you. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 40.
Awesome. Real quick. We have 2 more minutes to finish off that subwave on TikTok. I really appreciate you. Also, old doll, I don't know which currency this is, but thank you for the 11 of them twice. I have no idea which currency NOK is, though. Someone look that up for me. Someone tell me what NOK currency is. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right, guess, do you support Trump?
Yes.
Awesome. Why is that?
Who is actually doing stuff that he campaigned on, building the wall, deporting migrants. And the last administration was horrible. I mean, Biden was losing his mind. Everybody saw it.
First of all, again, like I just said, there was more deported under the Biden administration. Second of all, there was Norwegian. And I need to knock that off the list of countries. I need to make a map. Bobby, thank you so much for the page subscription. And Christine, thank you so much for the subscription. I think we just hit that subwave. I appreciate you. Norwegian. Hey, hi to Norway. Hi all the way to Norway. Matt, thank you for the subscription. Yeah.
I think context matters, though. Biden's immigration policies relaxed.
No.
You had huge caravans coming in from Honduras through Mexico, all through Biden's administration.
No.
Then,
Let's actually put things in context. Okay. Let's for real. Okay. What is the difference between the immigration policy under Donald Trump's first term and Biden's term? Nothing. And what's
we're enforcing the law.
No, we were enforcing the entire time. Okay. There was
huge caravans coming from Honduras,
sir,
all throughout Biden's administration.
Sir, the caravans thing is really like a disproven thing from like a long time ago, and I'd really like to stop addressing the entire caravan thing as if that's a thing. That is wild, sir. Literally, border apprehensions at the border by Border Patrol were up. Deportations at the border and denials at the border were up. Okay, so literally the stopping of people at the southern border under the Biden administration was significantly higher than it was under the Trump administration, and significantly higher than it is now.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: do you think there are more migrants trying to cross the border under Trump's administration or under Biden's administration?
In his first term or now, and legal or illegal?
Between Biden's first term and Trump's second term.
Okay, awesome. Between now and then, I think there are less legal migrants for sure that are trying to cross the border. As far as undocumented people that are trying to get around ports of entry, I don't really have the data for that yet, so I can't really tell. I could make a decent argument to say that I could possibly think that there's more, but I don't have enough data to prove it either way.
Let's see if you possibly think there's more. Biden
No, I just said I could make an argument to say that there's more, because the only thing that we know for sure right now about Biden's border is that there are less border encounters, specifically at border entry, right? So what we know right now is that there are less border encounters because asylum seeking has been generally stopped at the southern border. So people that are trying to come here, and we're trying to come here to gain temporary legal status in order to seek asylum in the United States, has almost just completely stopped at the southern border. So we know that people that were trying to get here legally has almost completely stopped, and therefore border encounters are way down. Okay. So I could make the argument to say that if, border encounters are way down, then that means more people are trying to sneak around border patrol. But again, that would completely be a projection. I don't have any data to back that, but I don't have any data to back that there's not less people that are trying to go around the border. I don't know that answer. There's no data to show it that I've seen.
Put yourself in the shoes of somebody from Honduras that wants to come here.
Sure.
And okay, so he's got a year to 3 years to try to do it legally. So he's gonna do it illegally. Okay. So do you look at Trump's border policies and enforcing the law, and then you look at Biden's policies enforcing the law? Which would you rather cross illegally under?
Well, under the Biden administration, I'd rather cross over legally, and under the Trump administration, I'd rather cross over illegally.
We're actually enforcing the border this time. And so
no, sir, it was enforced the entire time.
And they're scared. So
no, sir. You asked me a question. You asked me a question, and I'm answering the.
Cut me off 3 or 4 times.
But sir,
everybody else.
Yeah, sir, you can really stop the crying. Like, really, I'm not. I don't care to hear it. Okay, like, no, you're just crying. Okay, grow a pair.
Go ahead.
Try to have an adult conversation for the first time in your life. Okay. What I am saying is that if someone was coming from Honduras, I assume that there is a good chance that they would attempt to seek asylum under the Biden administration, because that was still allowed, right? And so if they had a valid asylum claim, or even if they thought they had a valid asylum claim, then I would assume that that is how they would try to cross the border under the Biden administration. But if you think that somebody coming from Honduras is going to show up at the border and then not try to cross, now that Donald Trump has stopped that avenue, I think that's pretty ridiculous, don't you?
No, because the asylum seeking thing, as far as like running away from a violent place or something, that's been abused. That's been abused so bad.
How has it been abused?
Of course, there are some people that have actual reasons for doing that, but 80% of them are just trying to get a better life because they're in a bad country.
Yeah. So who proves whether that it's being abused or not?
Well, see, that's all internal. I don't know that.
Oh, let me inform you then. I'll just go ahead and inform you then. Okay. So what happens when somebody goes to seek asylum is first they have to have evidence of a credible fear at the border. All right. So as soon as they contact a border patrol, first they have to cross the border illegally, right? Because that's what our law says. Our law says that you have to cross the border illegally before you can seek asylum, right? And so you cross the border illegally, then you go to a border patrol agent, you say you're going to seek asylum. First of all, you have to prove that you have a valid asylum claim, right? About 40% of the people that sought asylum at the border under the Biden administration were immediately deported and turned away because they did not have evidence of a valid asylum claim. Okay. The other group of people that had asylum claims were given court dates for the future, right? And those people are then decided whether they have an asylum case, in the future, once they are able to see a judge. Most of the time they get a lawyer, all that fun stuff, right? And about I think it's on average about like 90%, but it varies depending on whether they have a lawyer. But I think with a lawyer, it's like 94% of people showed up for their court cases. About 88 or 89% without lawyers showed up for their court cases, right? So then after that, you had, about 15% of people that were actually gaining a correct asylum according to the law. And that's how due process works for asylum seeking in our according to our law. Now, do I believe that is the correct way to go? No, I do not. I don't think that that's a very efficient system for us to be waiting 5, 7, 10 years to find out if somebody has a valid asylum case. I don't think that that's the right thing to do. But the Biden administration tried to correct that 3 different times and was stopped by Republicans every single time. Okay, considering the last one that was... Hold on, sir. Considering the last one in 2023 that was written by a conservative that would have limited the number of asylum seekers, all right? It would have limited them coming in, and it would have hired more judges in order to freaking make sure that those claims are processed, and went down from between like 5 and 10 years down to 6 months. And it was stopped by Republicans, specifically stopped by Donald Trump.
Yeah, because how many immigrants did it let in per day?
It didn't let any amount of immigrants in per day, sir. The bill had a limit on encounters to when it would shut down the border. So in the bill, 4,000 people on average over 7 days were were encountering at the border. Then it would allow them to shut down the border. If 5,000 on average per day over 7 days were to be encountered at the border, and let me be very clear, encounter doesn't mean let in. Encounter doesn't mean they were seeking asylum. Encounter just means that the Border Patrol freaking, stopped them at the border. Right? Then it would have automatically shut down the border. And if at any point in time, 10,000 people, 10,000 encounters were happening in a single day, it would have automatically shut down the border and no asylum seekers would have been let in whatsoever. So if that bill was signed, the day it was signed, it would have shut down asylum seeking in this country. It would have completely shut down the border. By stopping that bill, what it allowed was an unlimited amount of encounters, so therefore an unlimited amount of asylum seeking in the United States.
So when they went through the border, they were given a court date, and they were allowed to stay in America until their court date. Right? That's probably what 3 years away, right?
5 to 10 years.
Okay, so yeah, and then they may show up, they may not.
Again, about 90% of them show up. But regardless of any of that, I also agree that it's not a good system. The bill that Biden tried to have passed would have fixed that.
I believe it's a bad system, but that bill did not fix that.
Okay, then how did it not fix it? Because I just very explicitly explained to you why it would fix it.
Well, I mean, I don't know everything that's involved in that bill. I just know it allows a lot of people per day.
No, sir.
To enter the country.
I need you to listen to me. It does not allow a certain amount of people per day.
Encounters where they're given a court date and then they're let in the country.
No, sir. Encounters could mean you're deported.
And Biden was deporting all these people.
Biden deported 685,000 people in 2024 alone.
And see, that's with the mass amount of
Sir. So don't try to switch the subject. Yes, sir. People were showing up at the border. Okay, they were having encounters, and the majority of the people that were encountered, sir, the majority of the people that were encountered at the border were deported.
Well, I'm going to look at the numbers on that because I highly don't believe you.
Please do. They're on Customs and Border Patrol's website. They're not hard to find.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't take a third grader to realize Biden or Trump's policies are harder on the border than Biden's policies.
No, what it doesn't take a third grader to realize is that Joe Biden was following the current law and trying to change the law. Okay? And Donald Trump is treating people inhumanely.
Well, I mean, I disagree with that. I mean, we need to deport these people, illegal aliens, from the country because it for one, it brings down wages, and another, it raises housing prices.
There is literally no data to show either of those things.
Well, look at Canada. Canada's got an open border, and now their houses are $3 million. That should be a $300,000 house.
Sir, that's not. Canada is a completely different country with completely different immigration from completely different countries. They only share a border with one country, and that's us. So yes, when people migrate over there, and also they don't have an open border. So
they're allowing a lot more immigrants into the country, and now the housing project.
How about you worry about this country?
I'm just saying because it's a valid analogy, isn't it?
No, it's not.
You let a bunch of people into the country. You have nowhere to put them.
We weren't letting a whole bunch of people in. We're letting asylum seekers into the country. But if you think asylum seekers are buying up houses, then I don't think you know what an asylum seeker is.
Well, too much immigration in the country is bad.
I agree.
Well, that's one thing we can agree on.
Yes, but I also understand that comprehensive immigration reform is how we fix that, not sending people to torture prisons.
They're not torture prisons.
CCOT is literally a well-known and bragged about by CCOT torture prison. What are you talking about? They brag about it being a torture prison.
You know, I'm from Texas, and there's prisons in Texas that don't have AC. This place has got AC. They got 3 meals.
CCOT is a torture prison. You're comparing it to Alligator Alcatraz. I'm not. I'm talking about CCOT.
And what is CCOT? Is that one in Venezuela?
El Salvador?
Or, yeah, El Salvador. Excuse me. Misspeak. Is that the one?
Yes.
Well, who cares? Those are violent criminals.
They were not violent criminals. Literally, there was not a singular piece of evidence to show that that over 75% of the people they sent there were violent criminals.
El Salvador is better because of that place.
El Salvador might be. That doesn't change that sending people there that aren't violent criminals is still inhumane. Well, it's inhumane regardless of whether they're violent criminals, but it's especially inhumane when they're not.
Gang members?
Sir, yes, I'm sorry. I don't believe gang members should be tortured either. But these people were not gang members.
Very, very, very small percentage.
No, very, very small percentage of them had even the smallest bit of evidence that they might be gang members. There was literally a guy there who just got released who was a gay hairdresser who got freaking sent there for having a mom and dad tattoo.
Okay.
How many gay hairdressers do you know in gangs?
That's one person. What about that other guy that they sent over there? They sent back, and now he's under charges for human trafficking.
Yeah, he was not under charges of human trafficking at all. They came back and added charges of human trafficking after they accidentally sent him to CCOT. And the court admitted, and the lawyers admitted for the Trump administration that they sent him there accidentally.
Okay, so there's 2 people. One could be debatable. I don't know so much about this gay hairdresser, but I've heard.
Yeah, there was hundreds of people sent there with absolutely no gang ties and no evidence of gang ties whatsoever.
So what do we do with violent criminals that are illegal in this country?
Put them in prison.
Oh, so we pay for it?
We were paying for it anyway. We were paying El Salvador to house these criminals.
Yeah, not as much as
actually more. Actually more. For the amount of criminals that we had over there, we were actually paying more money to house them in El Salvador than we were to actually house them here.
But isn't it worth something to scare these individuals?
Why do you want people to be scared?
I want gang members. I want MS-13.
They're not scared.
In this country, yes.
No, you're not scaring them. You're scaring innocent people because that's who he's sending there.
You brought up 2 people. 2 people.
Sir, I'm sorry. Did you want me to sit here and go through the hundreds of people that were deported there, like list by list, in order for you to understand it? Or do you think maybe you could try reading at some point?
Okay. No, I'll check that out. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, I would advise just trying reading at some point.
Well, can I bring up another point? Can I bring it back to Biden?
Why?
Another point.
I don't give a shit about Biden.
Because I sat there and listened to your show for 30 minutes, and you were saying, "Oh, Biden, he should have ran at 80, but he wasn't losing his mind."
No, I said towards the end he was probably having some type of freaking decline based off of his age. But saying that because he was having a decline at the end does not mean that he didn't do amazing things for the country before that. That's what I said.
So he was he was mentally capable of running this country.
Sir, I don't know whether he was fully mentally capable. I know he did things that were very, very mentally capable. But honestly, if you want to be completely and fully honest with you, I don't give a fuck about Joe Biden. I really could not give a shit. The dude's has cancer and he's off living his whole the rest of his life, however much he has, because he's old as shit, okay? And he wasn't running at the end of this election. So to be completely fucking honest with you, Biden wasn't really my pick to begin with, and I could not give a shit about Joe Biden.
Well, I mean, you brought up Trump's cognitive abilities.
Yes, because Trump is currently the president.
Oh no, I understand that.
Yeah,
but, so
Biden is not currently
Trump
the president, so therefore I do not care about him.
So do you think Trump is mentally able to run this country?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. Okay, so I was going to bring it back to Biden because Biden's never did interviews, got lost on the stage, shaking hands with ghosts, getting scared of the Easter Bunny. Trump would sit there.
Man, you guys just can't help but to talk about Biden, even though I have no will to talk about Biden. Or did I just say that I don't care about Biden? You guys just have to talk about Biden. Is it no, stop. So just be clear, sir. Even though I don't, sir. So just to be clear, even though I do not care about Biden, sir. Even though I do not care about Biden and said I could not give a shit about Biden and do not want to talk about Biden at all because he's not the president. He wasn't even my fucking pick to be president in the first place. Okay. You just cannot help yourself but to yell, but Biden. Like you just cannot help yourself but to just talk about Biden because that's the only thing you have to talk about. Because that's all Donald Trump does. Because every single time Donald Trump is in a corner, he just yells, "But Biden, but Biden this, but Biden that, Biden." Oh, the economy's still doing bad. Oh, it has to do with Biden. Oh, freaking, there's a flood in Texas. Oh, it has to do with Biden. Now people are getting tired of the Biden thing, and now it's like, oh, well, now it's Obama, right? Like it's always everybody else's fault. How about we talk about the person who's the president now?
Okay, yeah. Trump can sit there in front of reporters and riff with them for an hour. He takes interviews.
So he says dumb shit in his interviews.
He says dumb shit. You said dumb shit. I said dumb shit.
What dumb shit did I say?
I'm not going to sit here and read a...
No, go ahead. What dumb shit did I say? I'll wait.
Well, like I said, 20 minutes ago, you said Biden was mentally fit to run this country.
No, sir, I very clearly said exactly what I said before, and I'm not going to repeat myself a third time. It sounds like you can't take an interview because you can't comprehend what is said in a conversation.
Yeah, like 20 minutes ago, you weren't talking about Biden and his mental capabilities. So,
are you okay, sir?
No,
are you cognitively declining? Is this what sundowning sounds like?
Oh, it's funny you bring up sundowning. That's funny. See, now you're just being smart, Alex.
No, I'm just don't know what the point of this fucking conversation is, sir.
Well, I guess I was saying that Trump is fully capable to run this country. He sits there and he has interviews and he talks and yeah, I mean he says stupid shit. Everybody says stupid shit.
I can pull up.
That doesn't mean that he's got dementia or includes in his mind or his health is failing. Doesn't mean that.
I mean, we know his health is failing. He just literally came out with a disease showing that his health was failing. That literally just happened.
Well, I mean,
we literally know that like he's not getting like his heart isn't pumping into his blood vessels fucking correctly. Like we literally know that his health is failing. But you know what? Honestly, it doesn't surprise me that his health is failing. Like, honestly, he's fucking 80. Like, he's old as shit. Like, it doesn't surprise me that his health is failing. And to be completely fucking honest with you, I think this is honestly, I think this is freaking elder abuse. I don't even think he should be there. I think that he's probably just being controlled by a bunch of people in the background and probably doesn't even have, control of his faculties anymore. It's not his fault. He's just old and, not, and incoherent. But, that's totally fine. Like
that's exactly what Biden did.
There he goes. But Biden, guys. But Biden, guys. But Biden, guys. We got to talk about Biden. We can't talk about Trump. We can't talk about Trump. We got to talk about Biden. We
there.
gotta
See?
talk
Okay.
about
I sat there and I
Biden.
talked about Trump. I sat there and talked about Trump. And you described Biden to a T, and I said it, and now you're
But
Biden,
Biden!
Biden,
But Biden!
Biden,
Oh
Biden.
no. Well, anyway, sir, if you just want to
So
sit up
let's
here and
talk
talk
about
about
Kamala.
no, I'm not interested anymore, sir. It sounds like all you want to do is talk about Biden, and that just bores me.
that's
So
gaslighting
I tried to
again.
move the conversation
So-
away from Biden like so many times, and you keep
interrupt,
coming
you're
back.
You're a smart ass. You interrupt.
You said I'm gonna.
Smart
Did
ass.
you say I'm gonna run?
No, I said you interrupt people, and you're a smart ass. You don't let people.
But Biden
then-
ran from somebody one time. Biden was a smart ass. But
And
Biden.
then you yell
But
at people when they
Biden.
interrupt you.
But
or they try to
Biden.
talk over you.
Biden. No Biden. We gotta talk about Biden. We gotta talk about Biden. But Biden. Guys, I don't want to talk about Trump. Gotta talk about Biden. Lisa, thank you so much for the $20 Cash App. It says for kick his ass. I don't really do that, but I really appreciate that anyway. That was just over with that. Thank you guys, Marilyn. Thank you so much for the subscription on TikTok. I really appreciate that. And Christine, thank you so much for the 2 gifted. And Secret Squirrel, thank you so much for the sub. Guys, are we just going to go ahead and hit 50 subs right off the back here on TikTok? That would be amazing. I'd really appreciate that. That'd be crazy. Icy Felix, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said, do you think Biden and Trump killed off American political cohesion? I noticed more Americans want autocracy. No, it wasn't Biden and Trump. It was just Trump. Yep, it was just Trump though. It's just Trump. He did that. But thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. Stacy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said, undocumented or not, migrants are human beings and they deserve to be treated as such. The lack of compassion in this country is terrifying. I could not agree more. Lindsay, thank you so much for the galaxy. I really appreciate that. Danielle, thank you so much for the subscription. Stacy, you hit it right on the nose. Just because somebody is freaking undocumented immigrants or an illegal immigrants, like you call, like people like to call them, whatever, they are still human beings. Human beings that deserve human rights. We should not just treat people horribly because they're freaking, from another country. Craziness. But thank you so much, Stacey, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Y'all, if you guys would like to support the live, I do have super chats open on YouTube. I like to take them, put them up on the screen, talk about them just like I did with that last one. Thank you so much, Marilyn. I like to take them up, put them out on the screen, talk about them. It's so much fun for us to talk about them. It's your guys' way of discoursing with me, too. It's a lot of fun, so I really, really enjoy it. Thank you guys so much. If you guys are TikTok, like I said, I think we're like 10 subs in already. I think we might actually hit all the other 10 right now. And get straight to my goal. I'm not sure it's gonna happen, but it just might. We'll see. Lindsay, thank you again for the galaxy. I really, really appreciate that. That was really very, very sweet of you, and thank you so much. All your guys' love and support and donations do really mean a lot to me. So thank you guys a lot. All right, we're gonna keep going on this and open up these phone lines. Again, y'all, super chats are freaking awesome. Freaking everything's amazing. I do have my pay links in my bio, just like Lisa who sent that. Thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate that also. Hello, how are you?
I appreciate that also.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
is this? Can you hear me?
Nope.
Can you hear me? Nope.
Why can't you hear me?
Because you have me on in the background.
Because you have me on in the background.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Eh,
How about that? We turn it up. Testing. Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now?
is this Michael?
Yes, I know what you're doing. You're not going to let me speak, right?
Oh my God, I can recognize your voice. This is
No.
fucking hoodlum. Why are you still
Hillary-
out here?
Hillary Clinton.
Sir,
was on
no.
tranquilizer.
I don't want to talk about any of that. You have been dog walked by every creator like that exists on every
I dog walked
platform.
you.
How are you still here?
Paulie, I dog walked you a year ago. You don't remember me.
Bye. That dude's been dog walked by freaking everybody. I've seen that dude get dog walked by freaking middle schoolers, bro. Holy shit. The fact that I recognize his voice over the phone lines is insane. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How old are you?
So,
How old are you?
yeah, I'm 40. Is that what you want to know?
40, yes. And do you support Trump?
I do. I'm
Awesome. So
actually,
what's on your mind?
well, here's the thing. I'm actually a lifelong liberal, and everything I disliked about the right growing up, I feel like the left has become. But the thing that really bothers me is the idea that this has taken up a tremendous amount of housing inventory. It's taken up jobs. It's taken up hundreds of billions more tax resources that they put in. It's
Hold on, what
overcrowded
is?
schools. The 20 million people that we're talking about that got divided over the past 4 years.
Yeah, that number's not correct. So let's start there.
It's 6 million encounters at the border, another 1 million overstays on visas, and just driving into the country. So that's minimum 10 million, and then Department of Homeland Security puts it at about 20 million. They have data with like cell phones and stuff like that.
No,
It's a
the
tremendous
Department
number.
of Homeland Security did not do that. The Department of Homeland
The
Security.
Department of Homeland Security put it at 20 million. You
No,
can look
no,
that
they
up
did not.
yourself.
Yeah, I have looked it up. That's Homeland Security subcommittee of the House of Representatives who were just saying something with no data backing it up.
Okay. Well,
Pew Research
the
Center and the
population-
Council for Immigration Studies all agree that it is between 11 and 12 million undocumented migrants that are in the country, and that is over the last 50 years.
No. That's over the past 4 years.
No,
There were
that's
6
over the
million
past
encounters
50
at the
years.
border.
1.7 in the last 4 years.
No. Now that's just objectively. Ask ChatGPT.
I mean, I don't need to ask ChatGPT. I just told you the sources in which
So
I
the
can
6
pull it
million
up.
encounters that they had at the border was they just sent them home.
Sir, an encounter does not mean that you entered the country. The encounter numbers are actually higher than that. When people put about a 10 million encounter number on, that's actually more accurate.
Okay. Well, my point is, it's had a tremendous effect on housing, way more than BlackRock. BlackRock owns 55,000 homes, right? This is 20 million people you're talking about. It affects schools. It affects jobs. It affects tax resources. It has real consequences for Americans.
Yeah.
And more than that, it nullifies people's votes.
Awesome.
That's why they're there in the first
So
place.
how do
It
undocumented
nullifies-
immigrants buy and rent houses?
No, people are renting them and making tons of money off of it for Section 8. And not that they all get Section 8. I'm not saying that.
You know, none of them
But
get
it
Section 8.
No. All right. I don't think you're being intellectually honest here.
No,
Yes, they do.
undocumented immigrants are not qualified for Section 8 in this country.
Okay. Well, if you're in the asylum process, you are. And like I can go on YouTube.
Asylum
right now and show you
seekers aren't
1,000 videos.
undocumented, though.
I can show you 1,000 videos on asylum seekers on YouTube on how to beat the system and say, oh yeah, I'm in danger. Like there's video after video instructing them how to beat the system.
Yes, sir. And I'm sure there's also just that many videos on teaching American citizens how to beat the system.
Irrespective of any of that, it hurts American citizens. So I want to know why you all feel like you're morally better, righteous, to give away all of these resources of Americans.
No,
Like,
sir, you have
it
yet to prove
does
that these
have not-
resources are being given away. You can't ask me in any way, shape, or form to defend why I support giving away of resources when I know that
$450
undocumented immigrants in the year of 2024 cost the American taxpayer. Sir, stand by. I know in the year of 2024, the American taxpayers, as far as federally, freaking paid about $34 billion when it came to undocumented immigrants and helping their support. When they freaking paid over $100 billion in state, local, and federal taxes. So therefore,
100 million to 34 billion?
100 billion.
Okay. Well, the number that I saw from the government was $458 billion worth of tax resources that this is caused, not commensurate.
Awesome.
with
So
how
where's
much
that number?
effort they've put in. I don't have every single number off the top of my head.
Well, sir, you're
my
going to have
point
to
is-
give me something. I'm trying to work with you here, but everything you're
But my
saying
point
is
is-
just
okay,
these
okay.
ridiculous numbers that I can easily pull up at any point in
You're
time
not
and show
pulling up
you.
any of my numbers, friend.
Actually, I
My
already
point is
did, and
this.
I already put it on the screen. You just
My-
didn't
my
stop
point
you
is
from.
this.
Sir. I already did, and I already put it on the screen. I just didn't stop talking to you in order to do it.
Okay. Well, we live in a world where you can get numbers from. If I had the time to give you the numbers, I would. But the point is this: it has real knockdown consequences for Americans. Okay, so it's not righteous or noble to just give away people's votes, people's houses, people's jobs. It's not. You're not the moral high ground here.
Sir, what are you talking about?
You don't think
according
10
to what
million
I
people-
am showing, sir, literally, and again, it is on the screen for other people to see. I know you can't see it, but it is literally on the screen. Okay, I am showing that those that
what is the name of
undocumented.
what is the name of the group? What is the name of the group that you just put on the screen? Because I don't want to get feedback on my phone. That's why I don't have it.
So it just says
What is
study.
the name
It's from the Alabama Reflector, part of States Newsroom, from Casey Quinlan, August 2nd of 2024.
Casey from the Alabama Newsroom. Come on, man. Do you think that's a good faith? Go to the national.
Sure, sir. Where would you like? I've asked you for sources 5 different times now, and you've given me 0. So I don't think that you. But that's fine. No, but that's fine, sir. That's fine, sir. Not a problem. Okay, I can go to the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. Is that a better one for you?
The Department of Homeland Security would be the
Awesome,
most,
sir. So where can I find
numbers
Department of Homeland Security to talk about tax revenue?
Okay, so the tax revenue right now, the top 20% is already paying. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We're all over the place. Tax
No,
revenue
just
of what
you
they
are.
Paid, tax revenue of what they paid is not commensurate to what they have used. That's not. That
Again,
is not
sir,
correct.
I
But
can
even
show
if
you.
it was-
I can show you numbers to show that again, it's about 34 billion that they have used, and over 100 billion that they've contributed.
Okay, well, let me ask you. The GOP is planning on importing 20 million people tomorrow that will all vote red. They're going to put them in swing states. They're going to use jobs and housing and tax resources that should go to people of color and other people that are disadvantaged. And they're going to import them all in tomorrow. And because this is a morally neutral thing, do you have any problem
Sir, what are
with
you
that?
talking about morally neutral? We're not,
You're
sir.
saying that it
You
has-
want to get
you're
to a
saying it has no
moral,
effect.
sir. You want to get to a moral argument when you can't get past the factual one. Okay, so we need to stop real quick, okay? Because right now we are on a factual argument, okay? We are talking about the facts of the situation. We're not talking about the morals of the situation, okay? You don't get to argue, sir. No, you don't get to argue the morality of the arguments that you have not proven. Okay, so if you want to have a moral argument with me, we have to start with the factual argument, which you have yet to prove or provided a single source on. Okay, because right now you're asking me, is it moral? Is it morally okay for freaking undocumented immigrants to pay more in taxes than they use? Because that's what I'm proving.
Okay, so your argument is, and I will repeat it back to you. This has no effect on housing. It has no effect on the value of labor. It has no effect on votes. It has no effect on tax resources. Anything.
Of course, it has effects on all of those.
Is that correct?
It has effects on all of those.
Is that correct? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so if the GOP decided to dump 10 million people and that would all vote for them tomorrow, would you be okay with that?
Well, I don't. Where are they coming from? Are they vetted? Where are we moving them from? Why are they moving them? No, because my moral argument is very dependent on all of those things.
The U.S. is basically just a slab of land.
No, sir, you asked me for my moral argument, and I need the answers to those questions in order to make a moral argument.
Yes, and I can. Do you have an email I can show you how it's affected housing and jobs and the value of labor?
I already said that it affects all of those things.
So the level of which it affects, I can't 100% give you the exact data point right now, but it does affect them. So
yes, I can.
No, you can't. You can give me something
yes,
from the
I can.
Alabama.
I literally gave you it from the freaking. I don't even remember where I gave it from you. For International Taxation and Economic Institute of freaking Taxation and Economic Policy.
And I can give you another article that says.
How about the Tax Policy Center? Would you like that one too? Because I can pull up about 12 different resources that prove every single thing that I'm saying.
Takes that can lie by doing. You're pulling up left-wing think
you
tank
think
articles.
that
like,
you think that the Institute for Taxation and Economic Policy is a left-wing think tank?
Yes, it's a left-wing think tank. I can pull up a Breitbart article and say, look.
All right, well let's go ahead and pull that up. Let's find out. Nope. I don't want to hear a word you said. I don't want to hear a word you said because you made a claim. Let's find out if you're right.
Oh, my claims are factual. I just can't prove them to you because you just shoot me
policy. Let's see.
It affects housing. It affects jobs. It affects.
Yeah, they're center left with a very high reporting.
They're a left-wing think tank, and that is fine.
They're not a think tank.
Left-wing think tank.
They're not a think tank, but they are friggin' left center with a very high factual reporting.
I would come running back to the Democrat Party if you all just admitted.
Sir, I'm not a
that this was
Democrat. I don't want you here.
That's fine. If you would all just admit that this is
Well, I don't want you there.
voter importation, that's fine. If you would all just admit that this comes at tremendous consequence to Americans and you don't care because it's about
sir, that wouldn't even make any sense because about 50% of undocumented, so 50% of migrants, once they actually get freaking voting status, vote Republican.
It's like 75%. It's like
no,
75%.
It's about 50% of migrants in this freaking country, specifically from Latin America. Sir, why do you keep talking while I'm talking?
Because you don't let me talk, friend.
You talked plenty, just didn't say much. Okay, you should use have better use of your time. Okay, so about 50% of migrants, specifically from Latin America, voted Republican and voted for Trump.
From Cuba, maybe in Florida.
Nope, from all of them.
Overwhelmingly.
So therefore, what you're saying is that the Democrats are importing a bunch of people who can't vote, so that when they can eventually vote, they vote against the Democrats.
Yes, of course, that's it. While you all are claiming that you're champions of democracy, you idiot, the red votes are nullified, and it does have real effects on Americans. Like it affects. Again, votes, housing, jobs, tax resources.
Sir, I don't know why you keep saying that as if I didn't already agree with you 3 times.
My friend is a teacher.
You have a friend that's a teacher?
In Phoenix.
You should go to class every once in a while.
I have a master's degree. Don't tell me I'm dumb, okay?
You have a from Trump University?
Yeah, from Trump University. My friend is a teacher in Phoenix. They are so overwhelmed.
Sir, I'm not saying there's not negatives on schooling, especially at border cities. I never said that was wrong. You're arguing against points that I'm not making.
No, you're saying that it wasn't 20 million. You're saying that it doesn't.
It wasn't 20 million.
You're saying they don't vote for red. That you're saying that.
No, I said they do vote for red. You can't even keep up with the conversation.
Can I give you a quote from Obama?
No.
Talking about how this
devaluates
labor, or Bernie talking about how it devaluates labor.
I already said it affects labor. I didn't disagree with you.
Labor. So if it has effect on people, how are you good people for giving this away wholesale?
Who said we were good people?
Well, okay, at least we're getting somewhere. Because you asked.
Who is we, by the way?
Do you not think?
Who is we, by the way?
Whoever you're arguing against. Do you not?
Whoever I'm arguing against is we.
Maggots, I guess you would call them.
What? I didn't call anyone a maggot.
Okay, a MAGA?
What about MAGA?
Do you not think you're morally and intellectually better than that? Does that not affect?
No, I do believe I am morally and intellectually better than you, though.
There you go. See? So how are
you a maggot?
No, like I said, I don't want to be supporting the GOP, but I am right now because this has real effects on Americans, and you won't admit
I don't believe that I'm morally or intellectually better than anyone until they prove it, which you're doing, but... Besides that, I really don't believe I'm morally or intellectually better than anyone. I think I'm just somebody that freaking is very interested by these things and has the ability to look and read and to, study these things because I really, really enjoy it. And I was grabbed enough to get a graduate degree in doing the same thing, which I think is really, really awesome. Okay, but no, I don't believe that I'm. First of all,
person. I have no doubt.
Well, that's not true. I don't believe I'm well-meaning or well-intentioned towards you at all. I think you're kind of a disgrace.
Well, it's still a free country as of today. So.
Yes, and thank goodness for you that you're allowed to be wrong whenever you want.
And thanks for talking.
I hope you're not expecting me to return the favor.
No, I don't get the moral algebra that you guys come up with.
Sir, what are you talking about with moral? Sir, morals are fucking subjective. Okay, I don't have moral arguments on this live. I don't give a fuck about your fucking morals. Okay, nor is it a moral argument. It is not financially beneficial for the United States to deport 11.7 million migrants that are currently in the country. It is not economically or sociologically better for us in any way, shape, or form. It is helpful for us to remove criminals. That's a really good thing. No, I'm talking. No. See, no, sir. I'm talking. You're quiet. Okay, it is not in any way better for the United States sociologically or economically in order to remove 11.7 million migrants. It's not all. What is beneficial for us is to have stronger border patrol, and I do believe that we should have that, and that we should stop people that aren't supposed to be here from being here, because that does have massive benefits. Okay, but when we're talking about fucking just removing 11.7 million people that are contributing to taxes, that are working jobs, that are freaking, that have been here for 20 years, who know nothing else but this freaking country, removing them is not beneficial for our country whatsoever. Okay. And I can show that because even in the freaking max time of fucking Joe Biden's presidency, when you say immigration is freaking going off the rails and crazy, Joe Biden had a 2.4% fucking unemployment rate. 2.4.
No,
there are
also
currently
there
are currently as many open jobs in the United States as there are American citizens that need to fill them. Okay.
Correct.
So there are
Because when you
plenty
have a
of
glut
fucking
of
open
cheap
jobs for
labor-
everybody here. No.
When you have a glut of slave labor, that makes Americans be paid less. I can show you Obama saying that. I can show you Bernie saying
what
that.
you should give me saying
Cesar
that is
Chavez
you
saying that.
saying nothing.
Is Cesar Chavez?
Awesome. Thank you. Perfect. So there's freaking many reasons why we should have them. Now, is it really bad that undocumented migrants come here and that they are freaking exploited within our labor system? 100%. That has detrimental effects to our labor markets. How do you solve that, though? The correct solvable way to do that is to punish the corporations for hiring undocumented migrants to begin with, to create stronger labor laws in the United States. Sir, I'm going to say this whether you're here or not. It's your choice on whether you're here or not. I really don't care. But I'm going to finish what I'm saying regardless of whether you're here, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. So there are detrimental effects to freaking companies hiring undocumented migrants. They don't pay taxes, and they can lower freaking wage costs in certain areas. But overall in the United States, the median household income has risen consistently over the last 16 years or something like that. Okay. And what we need to do is we need to punish corporations for hiring undocumented immigrants. That way they can freaking, they don't freaking exploit these undocumented immigrants. And also we need to give better paths for freaking migrants that are here to be able to work legally so that they are not exploited and fall under our labor laws. So you're right. Migration does have, can have detrimental effects on our labor market, but deporting all of them is not how you fix that.
Why is the cost of housing from 2020 to 24 almost doubled?
I thought we were just talking about labor.
Well, we're talking all of them.
How about we just talk about labor? Because I just addressed it. You wanted to talk about labor, so I'm addressing labor. So how about you respond to what I just said?
I think when you have a glut of cheap labor, then companies don't have to pay much. It's basically corporate welfare. It's basically
I already debunked the way you do that. Respond to what I said.
You're saying that you should go after corporations? Yeah, go after corporations. But most people, I mean, if someone knocked on your door tomorrow and said, I'm going to mow your lawn for $10, and someone else said, I'm going to do it for $100, which one are you going to hire?
I'd mow my own lawn.
Okay, well, just it's a hypothetical.
Yeah, in this hypothetical, I would mow my own lawn. All right. But if that guy that came up and for $10 and now can charge $100 because he's legal, and now they both charge $100, now who are you going to freaking hire?
Why do we have to be hyper competitive in our
now
job
are you going now who are you going to hire? Because now they can
have to be
you don't want to have to hire
compete with why do we have to compete with everyone? We're already competing with each other. Why do we have to compete with the entire you're already outsourcing so many jobs. We're competing with the outer world already. Now we're competing with jobs over here inside our own home too. Why do we have to compete with everyone?
There is enough open jobs for every single person in the United States. If you don't want to compete for jobs, then maybe we should move to, I don't know, socialism or something. Okay. No, because what capitalism thrives off of, off of competing for jobs. Okay. And if somebody is willing to do your job legally, if someone is legally willing to do the job that you're doing for less money at the same quality or higher quality, then you're not very good at your job or you're charging too much. Either way, but guess what, sir? If you're charging $100 to cut my lawn and this other guy is charging $10, okay? First of all, I want that guy to fall under correct labor laws so that he's able to charge whatever he wants. But I guarantee you, I can probably also find 20 people that are going to do it for freaking $50 or $60, whether they're American citizens or not. Probably a lot of both.
Supply and demand. Supply and demand. That's how it works. Supply and demand. I don't know, man. It's not, it has nothing to do with skin pigmentation or race or anything like that. It's that this has real consequences for people, and I just don't see it. You say it's not a moral thing. I think it is a moral thing. It's hurting Americans. I believe that it hurts jobs, housing, a lot of things, and so it's not like a morally neutral thing to say, oh, it's no big deal. Just
Sir, you're the one that keeps going back to morals. Okay. Do you know what I hear every time you say morals? Like,
Well,
truthfully?
because
No, sir.
everyone-
No. Do you know what I hear every time you start talking about morals?
I don't know. What do you hear when I talk about morals?
These are my feelings. That's
Okay,
what I
well,
hear you say every single time. Every single time you go like, it's a moral this, moral that, moral this, moral that. It is literally all I hear out of your mouth is,
and again,
I
facts are
feel
not
real
feelings.
bad. Okay, look, sir.
Okay.
Look,
But if
and
I were
that's
to turn
fine
on
because this is not
making moral arguments.
This is not a moral argument. Okay, this is not a moral argument. Do you want to talk about should people be sent to torture prisons? Sure, that's a moral argument. I have what?
It's a crazy ass prison, and the guy from El Salvador was. I don't want to talk about that.
No, exactly, sir. But when we talk about should people be sent to torture prisons, that's a moral argument, okay? I would believe, sir, hold on. Jesus Christ. Holy shit, dude. That is a moral argument, okay? But we're not having that argument. Should people have due process? That's not even a moral argument. That's a legal argument that can have moral undertones. Okay. But whether or not freaking migrants freaking contribute to our society, that is not a moral argument. Okay. We have facts, we have data, we have all the things that we need to, okay, in order to decide whether that's good for us sociologically or it's not good for us sociologically, whether it's good for us economically or it's not good for us economically. You're the only one trying to make a moral argument. You're the only one.
I can show you study after study that shows we live in a world where you can cherry pick what you want to be true. Okay, I can show you study.
You know, somebody that apparently has a master's degree wouldn't say that.
No, because we live in a choose your own adventure world. You know that everyone has these bubbles. They have these different. If you don't know that, then that's discouraging.
No, if you do know that and you have a master's degree, you should go and freaking get your money back.
No, I'm saying objective truth is real. Objective truth is a real thing. 1,000% objective truth is real. But what you're saying isn't actually objective truth. It's
What's not objective truth?
This is a partisan.
What's not objective truth?
About the taxes they pay in or whatever. It's like how you do the math. There's this book.
I literally was about to bring up like freaking American Immigration Council, which is a right-leaning fucking thing that
the left-wing think tank.
American Immigration Council is a left-wing think tank, bro. You don't know. Yeah. I think you just claim that every single thing is a left-wing freaking think tank when you don't know what it is.
More substantive body to quote from.
I think that you literally like don't know what a fucking left-wing fucking think tank is, and you just say everything that disagrees with you is a left-wing think tank.
Like the Alabama Center for Southern Poverty Law Center. That's a left-wing think tank. That's like an example of a left-wing think tank. These are all left-wings that collect data and do studies to get like a certain narrative to be true. And can I just say one thing?
I would rather you didn't.
The morality thing is when I turn.
I said no, I'd rather you didn't, but you kept talking anyway. Anyways, we're gonna keep this thing moving. That is freaking weird. Just dude, freaking everything that disagrees with me is a left-wing think tank. It disagrees with me, so it's a left-wing think tank. I was looking at it and I was like, wow, that's such a left-wing think tank. There was 12 bearded men. They were all crying. They were saying, wow, look at that left-wing think tank. Oh, it's so amazing. Goodness fucking gracious, dude. That is freaking horrific. Michelle, thank you so much for the gifted membership over on YouTube. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And old doll again, thank you so much for the 59 Norwegian something. I know it's Norwegian. This is the problem with Trump supporters calling in. They're uneducated and been fed propaganda. It's easy to see from another country. Yeah, I bet from another country it literally looks insane. I bet you from another country it literally looks insane. But I want to let you know also that from this country it also looks insane. Okay. I do also find it funny that Michelle gifted that membership and it went to Sodium, who is literally here every single day just talking shit. Sodium's here every day just talking shit. Marilyn, thank you so much for that last summer of love. I really, really appreciate that. And Marilyn, oh my God, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to the account. We're only 5 away from hitting that 50 today. Oh my goodness, Marilyn, you were being absolutely so sweet. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. W's in the chat for Marilyn and for Michelle for the gifting of the paid subs, the paid memberships on YouTube and on TikTok. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are very, very sweet. Oh my God, I can't really see too well. Woo. Guys, if you guys would like support, I do have super chats open. I really, really appreciate that. We've been actually really, there haven't been that many super chats today, really. Usually, like every guest, I'm having to like yell off a few. There haven't been too many super chats today. That's okay. I'm not even like really supposed to be on today. So I understand. There's not that many super chats today. I get it. I get it. All right. Well, maybe we'll take one more call. I don't think I'm going to take like an extreme amount more, but I think I'll take maybe one more. Amethyst, thank you so much for the subscription. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's up, man? Trump supporter over here, New York City.
How old are you?
I'm 42.
Awesome. Why do you support Trump?
Well, I support Trump because the migrants that came here during the Biden administration, they caused havoc. They have absolutely no respect for any of the citizens that took them in as refugees. We've had crimes committed that even by New York City standards are completely heinous. I mean, there was a woman burned alive on a train.
Can I ask you a quick question?
We had a dead guy who was raped after he was dead.
Yeah, you know who else was raped?
I'm listening. I know a lot of people have been raped.
A bunch of children on Epstein Island that Donald Trump was in the files of and won't release.
Yeah. I mean,
so why do you support somebody that you say you're against, sexual assault and all this sort of stuff by the migrants? Why aren't you against sexual assault by your president?
Well, I mean, there's solid evidence out there? Like you've seen solid evidence, so you've just seen pictures and you're jumping and running with it.
No, it was just released by 3 insiders that was reported by the Wall Street Journal. And I know it's true. You know how I know it's true? I read it and it was the Wall Street Journal, which I'm like, whatever. Like they're like kind of like center right, like whatever. And like they're owned by Rupert Murdoch. You know how I know it's true? Like truthfully? He tried to sue them like immediately. Like the second that it came off, he immediately was like, I'm suing you. And like the second that he said, I'm suing you, I'm like, holy shit, it's all true. Like, holy shit, it's all fucking true. Like, Jesus Christ. That
was your breakthrough moment where you knew you had all.
Well, I mean, I knew he was on it before, but I was like, oh, like there's some insiders. They were like, they were kind of like some confidential insiders and stuff like that. And I wasn't really sure. Yeah. And then it was like immediately like freaking Trump's like, I'm suing. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely on there. Yeah, he's definitely on there.
That would be called your intuition. That's not
my intuition. That's 3 eyewitnesses. That's 3 eyewitnesses.
It wouldn't be proven facts. Like if you went to
3 eyewitnesses isn't a proven fact.
And somebody said, oh, he sued when he started suing people when they accused him of something. Yeah. That wouldn't necessarily mean you're guilty of it.
If you went to court and there was 3
I'm
separate...
not saying he's not guilty of it either. Listen to me. I'm not saying I'm not diehard saying he's not. I think it's up in the air. I think he might be involved in it.
If you went to court and there was 3 eyewitnesses to what you did, would you be called guilty?
If there was 3 eyewitnesses to what you did, and there was some sort of physical evidence and stuff, that's usually how it goes. Even if it was 3 eyewitnesses, maybe he did it. I mean, I don't think Trump is a god. I said I voted for him specifically because I thought his policies were better for my city and the citizens of my city. That's
Well,
why I voted
Donald
for
Trump
Trump.
doesn't
I
make
don't pray.
policies
I
for
don't
your
pray to
city.
Trump. I don't pray to Trump. I
Donald
don't think
Trump
Trump is
doesn't
some sort
make
of prophet.
policies for your city. I would advise you going and checking out Mamdani because he's actually going to be making policies for your city. But Donald Trump doesn't make policies for New York City.
I would. Well, you know, Islam has absolutely no place in the West or in America, so I would never vote for him ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I would never. I mean, it's just like that would never happen.
Let me guess, you're a Christian,
you know,
right?
am I Christian? I'm not. I'm not actually really religious. You know, I don't pick a religious group to identify with. Do I believe in Jesus Christ? Yes.
So you're a
Do I
Christian.
identify with a certain religion? No, not really.
So
You know,
you're a
not really.
Christian.
Do I? Yeah, sure. I'm a Christian. Yep, sure.
What's Christian mean?
Believer in Christ.
Yeah, follower of Christ. So if you're freaking following Christ, you're a Christian. That's the whole point.
Yep.
Yeah. I think your religion is a lot more dangerous than Islam is, though. I think your religion has no place
I
in the
know,
Western
but you
world.
haven't studied Islam. So if you studied Islam, then you would think different.
I've studied all
You know,
religions.
if you had more knowledge about Islam,
I have a lot of knowledge about all religions.
the life of Muhammad. Islam is what Muhammad tells you it is, not what you know.
I'm not a fan of Islam.
Excuse me?
I'm not a fan of Islam.
Well, that's good.
I'm also not a fan of Christianity.
Either. That's good. That's your choice, man.
Do you know why? Because religion
has but, you know, I noticed you don't want to talk about Trump's policies.
Because religion.
You went from Trump's
religion,
policies to Epstein to now the mayor of New York City. I thought this was about Trump.
Because you started talking about New York policies. You said New York policies. You said I like policies about my city. And since Donald Trump is not the president of New York City, he's the president of the United States, and you want policies for your city. Right. Now we're talking about the mayor of New York City because that's the person that actually creates policy for your city. Okay.
Okay, so Trump was the only one who started deporting these people and started changing the laws.
Yeah,
so
I'm not really talking about that. How do you defend the fact that Donald Trump is on the Epstein files and freaking supports a freaking pedo? Because it sounds like that's a lot worse crime than any migrants are doing.
No, you don't. No,
no,
the migrants have robbed every single thing. Every single thing, every single store they've robbed. They're shooting people in the middle of Times Square. These are not when you take in refugees.
But Donald Trump is taking kids to Epstein Island,
rob and murder the same people that took them in.
Sir, I understand why you would not. Homeland. Sir, I completely understand why you would not want to support Donald Trump in this matter. I really appreciate that. But really, the fact that Donald Trump is sitting here demonizing for people that are just trying to, do their everyday lives. And yes, there are some bad apples that I believe that those people should be be arrested and criminalized. And I believe that those people were already. Sir, I'm still talking.
You do agree that the
I'm talking. Yeah. So people that were committing crimes in the United States, regardless of whether they were undocumented immigrants, were already being arrested and already being charged with crimes.
Well, we have
and sir, again, I'm still talking. The last time, this will be the last time I will say I am talking. Okay. One sentence, you've cut me off twice. Won't happen again. Perfect. Thank you. So people in the United States were already being arrested and criminally charged and then sent to prison, regardless of whether they're an undocumented immigrant or not. And then they got due process and then they were being sent to jail. That was happening all the time under the Biden administration. Actually, every single instance that you just talked about as far as undocumented migrants in New York City, all of those people were arrested and all of those people got due process. And I believe the majority of them were in jail under the Biden administration. So making the claim that we shouldn't have criminals in the United States, I completely agree with. Everyone pretty much agrees with that. And that's the way it should be. Okay? You're over here advocating for Donald Trump, who's deporting innocent people to torture prisons while at the same time taking trips with Epstein to frickin' some pedo island. Okay? So I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but crime has always been illegal. That's why it's crime.
Well, you let me know when you're finished so I can speak. So you ran? That's it? You just ran? Exposed, man. You got exposed.
It's insane.
Dude. You got exposed.
Where'd you go? What happened? That was your time to talk. I was nice and quiet. I even turned off my microphone so you had all the time in the world to talk. Man, all you had to do was start talking. All you had to do was start talking. Crazy. Anyways, Adam, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. Lee, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Said for your pain dealing with MAGA daily. Also, Ari is the best. Ari is the best. I'm about to get off and go hang out with her. And thank you so much for that $20 super chat. That really means a lot. Thanks so much. And Chris, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Says, can we have a rule that all Trump fence riders left are officially her honorary Frito files to intercept the dips? Hashtag talking points. Yeah, yes, down with Clinton too. Yeah, down with Clinton, down with all of them, down with all the weirdos, bro. Let's freaking cleanse our government of all these strange, old freaking, mostly white dudes. I can't say all, because Clarence Thomas still exists. But all mostly white dudes that are just freaking creeps, bro. Can we just cleanse our freaking palate of all of these people? Because it's getting freaking wild. Like, absolutely wild. Disgusting. Disgusting. Chris, thank you so much. And Kolila. Let's make ankles great again, okay? Let's make ankles great again. All right, y'all. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I have to get offline. I will see you guys later. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening, okay? Gotta go for the day. Bye.